Today we're going to talk about the power of a negative situation. As we go through life, we'll often at times find ourselves in what we call a negative situation or down in a pit. But a lot of times we tend to stay down in that pit and pitch tent or start decorating the walls and mourn and whine about our circumstances. But you see, the unique thing with a negative situation is that when you learn about that negative situation could be the best catalyst to get you where you need to go. There's a story in the good book about a man named Joseph. And you know, Joseph was destined to be the governor of Egypt. But you see, Joseph was thrown in a pit by his brothers before he was sold into slavery into Egypt. When Joseph, upon arrival in Egypt, Joseph worked in Potiphar's house, where Potiphar's wife tried to come after him. He ended up being thrown into jail. You see, but it was in jail that Joseph was able to be introduced to the butler and the baker, two of Pharaoh's former employees that Joseph interpreted a dream for, that literally made way for Joseph later. 2 years later, when Pharaoh had a dream, one of those, the cupbearer, the baker, actually remembered Joseph. And as a result of remembering Joseph, he was able to tell Pharaoh, hey, I know a man who can interpret dreams. Then Joseph was able to interpret Pharaoh's dream, and as a result, ended up being governor of Egypt in the afternoon. So you see, you could wake up in the morning just like Joseph did. Joseph wake up being a prisoner in Egypt. But in the afternoon, he was the second in command in an entire nation. Your pit could be the birthing ground for your destiny. Your pit could be the point at which you'll launch out into your future. You may open the kitchen cupboards and they might be empty, but that point where those kitchen cupboards are empty might be the point that you need to break you out to realize, hey, I can do something with my life. That point when you realize, hey, I need to go back to school and learn something to make something of myself. That point when you hit rock bottom is when you realize, I don't have to stay here. I don't have to be like a chewing gum and stick to the ground, but I could be like a rubber ball and bounce back. I could be like a rubber ball and be all that I could be. So you see, you could either sit through a negative situation and allow that negative situation could ruin you, or you could say, what can I learn from this negative situation? How can I grow from this negative situation? How can I be all that I can be from these negative situations? History is littered with a lot of people who have survived negative situations. We could go into a situation, and a lot of times we go into a situation, we have to remember it like this. There's several different ways you could eat a steak. Some people could just cut off a big chunk of steak and eat it, and it will be fine. Some people have to chop it up in smaller pieces because it will choke them. That's the same way. Whenever we go into problems or whenever we're in our pit, we have to identify what we need to do. And you have to allow yourself to be you, because whatever you're going through, you have to come through it yourself, how you desire for it to come through. You may not come through your pit like how I come through my pit. So therefore, you have to realize what you need to do in order to get out of your pit. So let negative situations be the catalyst that grow you. Let negative situation be that catalyst that pushes you forward. Let negative situation be that catalyst that creates you to be all that you can be. And don't allow your negative situation to knock you down, but allow your negative situation to birth that which within you that you desire to see growing. You see, we could all look at our circumstances and we could say, woe is me. Or you could look at your circumstances and say, okay, I'm at the bottom. The only thing I could do now is plant myself and water myself, nurture myself, and look at me grow. You see, you have to realize that you have potential. Don't listen to anybody else. And it doesn't matter if you're starting over, you have to start from scratch, or that you're in a situation where you feel like you're starting from scratch. You just allow yourself to be you. Allow that greatness to flow out of you. Allow you to realize, I don't want to stay in this pit anymore. I'm going to do today what others will not, so that I can do tomorrow what others cannot. Have an awesome growth day. And don't forget, hit the subscribe button below. Hit the subscribe button below. Hit the subscribe button below. Thank you very much.